I've got my captain. Gamers will be ready in the near future. Harstem versus Serral. Historically, that is something that has gone very well for Serral. We can take a look at a League together. And I do recommend that if you're watching this with your son or your daughter, please cover their eyes, because there is blood in the streets. If a League works. A League does not work right now. Why does it not work, guys? What's wrong with my League? There is no trigger today now. We can only send in 3 players, and obviously ShoWTimE has been a man on fire. And Trigger has been very, very busy with Battle Aces. He's one of the best Battle Aces players on this planet. These are the matchups today. As I said, this one is live, this one is live. Reynor and Scarlett have played a couple of days ago. The reason for that is that Reynor is currently in Croatia. He's almost coming back. He's just going on a tiny, tiny holiday with his mates. He just had his birthday. So it's a little birthday trip. But I believe he's already on his way back to Italy. And then it is head down for Reynor. And he's going to do his absolute best for a month straight to be the best possible Reynor at the Esports World Cup. Is there anywhere to see the list of top Battle Aces? Yes, there is. There is a leaderboard. I can try to find that link for you, but if you don't mind, I will do that later. You can also just try it yourself. If you go to www.playbattleaces.com, there is a leaderboard somewhere on the top side. If you click on the menu, there is leaderboards. I don't want to do that now. I want to focus on these two handsome nerds. It is Harstem, it is ByuN. It is a Shopify Rebellion versus BASILISK. A big match here in the regular season. In the bottom left side, there he is, our GOAT, the great Serral. And in the top right side, we've got an all-time Starcraft 2 fan favorite. The captain, the best Dutch Protoss player named Kevin that the world has ever seen. It's Harstem. Harstem is focused, he's dialed in. This is a different Kev than you see in other moments. Is it working for you? I tried to load it. Maybe it's because all of you guys tried to load La Liga. It doesn't work. It should work now. Alright. As we have very macro-oriented standard openings here, I want to take a tiny look at La Liga, guys. Because it wasn't working, it's working now indeed. That's so weird, but okay. Serral, Harstem. This is the history between Serral and Harstem. 46-15 in series, 20-5 in series, excuse me, and 46-15 in maps. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0, 1-0, 3-0, 2-3. So I'm telling you guys, there is a chance. On the 30th of August 2017, there was a 3-2 victory for Harstem. That was the last time that the captain took a map in a competitive setting over the great ByuN Serral. September, sorry. September is indeed the 9th month. August is the 8th month. I am a donkey. Thank you, Johnny. I said it full of confidence, and I felt like I was either going to be spot on or I was going to be one off. And I was like, August! And then I realized I was wrong. Hello, Sal. Sal has gone for a draw, and he said he likes his odds. How we doing, amigo? Who won the mouse tournament, by the way, Sal? I was actually watching that a little bit, but then I was too busy organizing Battle Aces show matches throughout the entire week and playing a lot of Battle Aces, so I couldn't follow all of it. What is the best mouse on the planet to play video games with? I like your little tournament. I thought it was cute. No one yet? The tiny fucking mouse won't die? Okay. Harstem is gonna go for a Twilight Council here, guys. So no Stargate first. It's Twilight Council, while Serral has taken the third hatch in the center of the map. The hatchery in the center of the map on Crimson Court is a base with a rich Vespian geyser. Or as our good friend Demo would call it, a very rich Vespian geyser. And that means that Serral, if he wants to go for something along the lines of Queens, Roaches and Ravages, is gonna have more gas than he normally does. And any Serral attack is already devastating. But Serral with even more gas is extra devastating. But obviously Serral does not have to be too aggressive. But I like the idea, honestly, if you play against a Resonant Enclave opening, if you just go for a lair attack with one Overseer and then a bunch of Queens, Roaches, Ravages, as Harstem is going to try to do the same thing. I mean, Yona. Once upon a time, guys, I had a birthday request for Serral. We played a game on Purity and Industry. I said, Serral, do you want to play one game against me for my viewers? Would be awesome. And he said, yes, I guess, why not? And I took the gold in the bottom side of Purity and Industry on my birthday. You know what happened, guys? 5.5 minutes into the game. A Nidus network attack. And I was like, what? It's my birthday. And then Yona said the legendary words, I can't let you get away with that. And I was like, I'm pretty certain you can, Yona. You can literally get away with like 4 gold bases and you would still win. But yeah, the man Nidus me on my birthday. Serral drops a Baning Nest, by the way. That is fun. I like Link Bane defenses against Resonant Enclave Adepts. I've always been a big fan of that. A lot of Zerg pros disagree with me. They say this is not the way. Yona says this might be the way. It's a bunch of Queens battling Adepts. Very good micro so far on the side of Serral. Saves this Queen. That's the Queen with a lot of energy too. First 4 Banelings, 8 Banelings, 9 Banelings are morphing. And I don't think Harstem has any clue that this is happening. A single battery is not going to save him here. A single Immortal is not going to save him here. Harstem is going to have to split like he's Moses. Only then he will have a shot. But here comes Yona with the wraparound. Adepts are going to clump up. Oh, the Baneling connections are so good. Life is so good if you are the great Yona Sotala. Oh, that's a sick force field by the captain. I gotta give it to him. That is an excellent force field by Harstem. But I still think the Banelings will find what they are looking for. Even though that's a lot of Lynx dying. That is the best force field Harstem could have ever dropped. Is it going to be good enough to save this base? As he's microing his Immortal, microing his Stalker. The final 2 Adepts in that little choke point. Honestly, guys, 10 out of 10 job here by Harstem. Wow. Okay. Harstem sort of holds. That doesn't mean that he's totally out of the woods yet. But that was actually an incredibly good hold. What a force field there. Without that force field, this game is Omega over. Now, I'm not saying that Harstem is there, because there is a second wave. Coco's very famous second wave, but Harstem is going to get another hero sentry. Incredibly sick indeed by the man that you guys like to call the captain. And I'm all for it, but he's not my captain today. Because I am also a captain. 1 force field goes down. Oh, there was only 1 force field available. Yona baited him with a force field on the right side. And that allows the Banelings this time around to sneak through the bottom. Those Lynx guys baited out the force field. And that is going to do it. Oh, that's so sick. Harstem needed 1 more sentry there. But he only had a single sentry. That is amazing by Serral. Poking with the Lynx in the top right. Let's take another look at that. Because that was fantastic. We can go back as Harstem is shaking this one off. I want to go back to that first initial hold. Like, this start was really good for Serral. But then this force field right here, this sentry with the battery overcharge, is the most clutch force field. That actually makes this a bit of a hold. Obviously it went on and it went on and it went on. But in the end, now that the dust had settled, supplies are close. Workers favor Harstem. This was not all that bad. Serral was aware of it. Serral is ready for round 2, and Harstem, instead of having 2 sentries here, guys, just has that 1 sentry again. And we have Serral here with the Lynx. He's going to sneak them towards the top right. He's going to pretend he goes for that Immortal. He commits for it a little bit, baits out the force field, opens the door in the bottom left of the Nexus, and that allows these Banelings to just get the sickest connections. Well done. 1-0 lead for Yona. I think with 1 more sentry there, Harstem does hold, and then he's actually in a good spot. But to say that he's just going to win would obviously be very silly, because nobody just wins games against Serral. You can have the best start imaginable, you can have the best start that your sweet baby dreams are made out of. You don't win against Serral until he taps out. And saying anything otherwise would be ludicrous. I don't think that Harstem loves the idea of making Immortals against Lynx and Banes, but obviously A, Immortals are very tanky, and B, there is a chance that obviously Serral just makes one poke with Link Bane and then he goes into Roaches. And then it's nice if you already have a couple of Immortals. And see, even if you feel the Immortal's not useful, but if all of your gates are on cooldown and you're building probes, you may as well build an Immortal. Because an Immortal is still better than not having anything. One-0 lead for Iona, 1-0 lead for Basilisk. As we have loaded into Dynasty though, some people say this is one of the best PvZ maps we have ever seen. Is that then good enough for the captain to snap that 7-year losing streak he's currently on against his opponent? 2017, it may seem somewhat recent, guys, but that legitimately was 7 years ago. It's not quite September yet, so it's a little less, but bottom left side of Dynasty. It is the captain representing the Shopify Rebellion, Harstem. Top right side, it is the one and only, the GOAT, the greatest to ever do it, Jonas Sutala, representing Basilisk and ShoWTimE, of course. And I stopped in my sentence there, guys, because Serral took the Mega Base. A little while ago, we had a map in our map pool called Equilibrium, and Equilibrium was the first map ever in competitive Starcraft 2 play that gave you gold minerals and a rich Vespian geyser. This map sort of has that, but not really. Because most of the time you take your hatch obviously as a pocket expand, but as a Zerg it's so difficult to then defend your drones. And Serral says, well, that's not gonna stop me from trying to get my hands on a Mega Base. I'm just gonna take it on the other side. According to Wikipedia, Serral is not a goat. I highly doubt that we can read that anywhere on Wikipedia. I know there is one Starcraft fan from Germany who likes writing articles, and he thinks Serral is not the GOAT. And everybody's entitled to have their own opinion, even if they're wrong. And that man is wrong. And Artosis obviously is wrong too, and he talks about Rogue being the GOAT, but Artosis just wants you guys to click on his videos. Artosis is actually a pretty smart guy. He knows. Deep down inside, when Artosis turns off his computer, we only see what's in front of the camera. But behind the camera, Artosis has a poster of Serral. And he knows his true GOAT. But obviously, saying what everybody else believes in is not going to get anybody to watch your videos. So. Artosis has Iona posters all over his streaming room. They are just not inside of the camera. Don't you guys worry. He might even have a Serral tattoo. When's the last time I've seen Artosis without a shirt? Home Story Cup 20 in Berlin. But after that, Iona has continued to win tournaments for 5 years straight, so there is a very good chance that Artosis is low-key walking around with a Serral tattoo. I believe it. Thank you, by the way, Ravi, for the 300 bits. Sorry, mate, I missed it. I'm sure that Harstem has played against this before, guys. A Zerg player who takes the Mega Base. I kind of feel that playing Stargate here would have been slightly better. But yeah, playing Resonating Glaives maybe not the worst idea either. Open up with a bunch of Resonating Glaive adepts, push back the creep a little bit, try to find an opening, maybe grab a queen, and then follow it up with Immortals and Sentries of 2.5, 3 bases. Could be an amazing play for Harstem. Serral's not the first one to do it Infinity, but a lot of Zerg players stop doing it because they just feel like it's too difficult to survive against the 2.5, 3 base push of Immortals, Sentries, a crazy amount of adepts, and maybe an Archon or two. And who won that Home Story Cup? Home Story Cup 20? Serral. Serral won. That was a great Home Story Cup, by the way. Not just because we were in Berlin and we were in a water park and we had Artosis and we had such a good time with Artosis that weekend. For me, it's the most special StarCraft 2 event ever. Because I did not possibly think they could ever run a StarCraft tournament in a water park. But they did. By the way, if Serral attacks without a lair, he could be in trouble, guys. Because there is a Dark Shrine. If Serral commits, I mean, hopefully these units are just defensive units. But if Serral commits to an attack without a lair, he is in serious, serious trouble against Dark Templars. The last thing I want to say about that Home Story Cup event quickly is that Reynor and Serral had some of the best ZVZs I think you're ever going to see. Reynor was so good at event. He was so powerful. He played so incredibly well. And I will always remember that event as I feel the first time that Reynor played better Starcraft than Serral. Even if he did not win the event, I felt Reynor played better Starcraft, and that made that a very memorable event for me. Harstem lost a couple of adepts, but it's okay, because Harstem will never ever die here, guys. There is the lair, but here are the DTs. I wonder what Serral does. Serral sees everything, right? Did he see that? I don't know if he saw that. Good job by Harstem as he snipes one of the Ravagers. Serral was going to poke in the front and harass with a single Ravager. Now Harstem in return is going to lose all these adepts. I saw Spore Crawlers on the production tab. Are they in all the right places? Yona's going to see it now. Oh, but he has no Spore in the main. There is no Spore Crawler in the main. There is one at the Mega Base. There's one in the natural. Harstem here in a sweet position with 2 Dark Templars in the main base of Serral. He's going to find some damage. Obviously, Serral moves his Spore Crawler over immediately. So, only 3 drones. How is that humanly possible? How am I? Yeah, well, you're cheering too early, Sal. The man has literally killed only 3 drones. And has now already killed one of the DTs. And now he's going to probably surround that Dark Templar with his Zerglings and move the Spore and kill the second one too. Serral is a freak. I've said it many times. And I mean this in the best possible way. That man really is a freak. Hello, Colaris. I was talking about you earlier, mate. I haven't seen you stop by lately. Yep, there goes the second DT. Kills it with an Overseer. Guys, we just saw 2 DTs walk into a Zerg that had no Spore Crawler, no Overseer in the main. A whole bunch of exposed drones. Was attacking on the other side of the map. And what has happened? He has now killed 3 Dark Templars and lost 3 drones. Like, how do you even explain this? We have 2 more Dark Templars though, running on top of another base, but Serral is so quick in pulling the drones away. Oh my god, he kills another DT and he doesn't lose a single worker. It ain't fair! Life is not fair! Yona, stop it, mate. You're ridiculous. He is down 9 workers though, but I do feel that he has survived a very scary phase. He's got a way bigger army and he has killed like 5 Dark Templars at this point. Serral really is so freaking good. But Harstem is still in this game. Just because Serral has defended incredibly well against a bunch of DTs that he was not totally ready for, that doesn't mean that this game is over. But yeah, Harstem needs Immortals. Absolutely. Ideally maybe a second Robo here. Because just Archons are not going to kill Roaches and Ravagers of Serral. Serral fires up Tunneling Claws, by the way. Tunneling Claws and Burrow. A 2-0 would obviously be amazing for us here. So Harstem does have a 4 Zealots getting on top of the Mega Base once more, but with the creep spread that is now making some progress, with the Overseers that are going to give Serral some vision, that is not going to get much done. Does Serral play Battle Aces? I have not seen him play a single game of Battle Aces. He has also absolutely not asked me for a beta key. I have the feeling, mate, that Serral is just such a dedicated, die-hard professional that he says, I've got the biggest Starcraft tournament in history coming up. I'm not playing anything besides Starcraft. Serral needs 400k. I don't know if he needs it, but I do think he wants it. But I also think he just really wants to win the tournament. That trophy looks amazing. I think it's going to be a very long-standing, incredibly prestigious event. So, yeah, he absolutely wants it. 7 workers go down, the battery goes down, but Harstem does find a little bit of success perhaps in the main base of Serral. Even though I've not seen a single drone die yet. I don't know about Archons, man. Archons chasing Roaches and Ravagers. I mean, the Zealots, good movement on the Zealots actually. That's going to make it a little bit more difficult for these Roaches and Ravagers to retreat, but we don't have Immortals here. And Archons can be good, but you really need those Immortals with their range in the back line. GG gets called. Jonas Sotala looks good as ever. And he continues winning against the captain. A 2-0. An absolute animal. There is no other way to describe him. He is an absolute animal. I don't know how he does it. Every single time we look at him, he just looks as good as he's ever done. Does the man ever have a bad day, guys? I'm sure he's had a couple of bad days, but... GG gets gold. Serral gets the 2-0. And that means that if ShoWTimE just can get a single map for us here, I think we are in an amazing spot to win this clan war. ShoWTimE versus ByuN, the best of 2. ShoWTimE, the man who's been on fire lately. Qualifying for the Esports World Cup as well. Finals at the Home Story Cup. Has played great, but obviously ByuN is no slouch. And that is an understatement. He had a bad day at the Home Story Cup. Yeah, when he barely made it out of the group stage. Serral once upon a time barely made it out of a group stage. And then he was angry, and lower bracket Serral won it all. Which Home Story Cup was that? Was it like 23, 22-ish? Home Story Cup 22. Lower bracket Jonah. No, not 22, because Reynor won that one. So 21, maybe? Yep. Home Story Cup 21, guys. Serral indeed had a bad day. Out of the 7 series, he only won 5. Very, very average. So instead of starting in the upper bracket, like the 8 best performing players in the group stage, he had to start in the lower bracket. 3-0, 3-1, 3-1, 3-2. Neep got, by the way. 3-1, 3-1, and a 3-1 and a 2-0. The lower bracket Jonah was not something that we were very familiar with. After Home Story Cup 21, nobody wanted to see it anymore either. Because he might even be more dangerous in the lower bracket than he is in the upper bracket. DreamHack Last Chance was really bad for Serral, but that was an online tournament though, right? LV Sim? If I recall that correctly, that was a big online tournament that we had that year in the circuit. Hanalm, that was semi-finals, by the way. Serral has never lost in the quarterfinals of a BlizzCon. The first time Serral ever made it to BlizzCon, he lost in the group stage against Gumio, by the way. That was a funny moment. It was right after Serral got eliminated in the group stage. Serral was traveling with his dad back then, and his dad was in the studio. And I looked at his dad and I made a face where like, I'm sorry. And his dad said, fucking machines. And I don't know if he meant Korean players or mech. I'm gonna assume it was mech, but it's okay. Jonah got his revenge many times over on those machines. 2-0 lead for BASILISK. Yes, we hop into our second series. BASILISK plus ShoWTimE. And here he is, the handsome devil. The man who beat me this morning with his Zerg. If ShoWTimE just gets a single map, I'm feeling really, really good. Man, ShoWTimE looks jacked. Jeez Louise, man. You're not only winning every single game, you're still getting bigger and more strong and handsome too. Life ain't fair. ShoWTimE really is speaking. You guys may not like it, but this right here is what peak Protoss performance looks like, baby. And yes, I am jealous. What a man. Honestly, what a man. How tall is ShoWTimE? He is less tall than me, but not by a whole lot. So I'd say in centimeters, I think ShoWTimE maybe like 182, give or take. And in American, that would be like 6'1" or 6 foot. Feet, sorry. Not foot. That is my guess. I think I'm a tiny bit taller than ShoWTimE. But not a lot. Shopify in the regular season 6-1. BASILISK plus ShoWTimE 5-2. But Jonah has done what he has done so many times for us already. And that is get another 2-0 in the regular season. Puts us in a great spot. Bottom left side of Alcyone. We are looking at the main base of D Mauer is ShoWTimE. Top right side. It is one of the best StarCraft 2 players in history and a world champion of StarCraft 2 in the year 2016. It is ByuN. You know what was funny? I was watching somebody cast a Battle Aces tournament yesterday. And they were casting Parting. And I believe that they were familiar with Parting. And they obviously know that he was good in StarCraft. But I don't think they quite understand like how good some of these guys were that were world champions. And obviously Parting is also a previous world champion in StarCraft 2. And he was defending, he was battling in the center of the map, he was defending at the top, and then he split off like 7 recallers to the bottom and he sniped the base. And at the feeling for parting, this game was going in slow motion. And our commentator was like, wow, I am just so incredibly impressed by the multitasking of parting. I know that he's a Starcraft player, but wow. And I'm like, oh, you haven't seen half of it yet, mate. Like, yeah, parting looked great in that game and he was all over the place, but he's done that and then some in some of his StarCraft 2 games throughout his career. I thought it was cute. I loved it. Triple CC opening coming out of ByuN. ShoWTimE and not going for Stargate is going for Twilight Council. I personally think that is slightly better for ShoWTimE as long as he doesn't freak himself out and goes like 3 gate and double gas before going up to 3 bases. If ShoWTimE would play 2 gate Twilight Blink here with a Robo and he goes up to 3 bases, it's good. If he goes 4 gate Blink, it's a little iffy. He needs to find a lot of damage then, but it's still okay. At the moment, we're just looking at 2 gates. You live in Ireland. Do you think Conor McGregor is ever going to fight again? Psych Roulette or Roulette? But I assume it's wordplay on Roulette. Oh, ByuN, what are we doing? Okay, it was mispositioned. I guess it was blocked earlier by the probe. 4 gate should be good. Yeah, but ShoWTimE is not really the ultimate 4 gate Blink Stalker player though, Sep. He doesn't really play it with heart and commitment like MaxPax does, and with the intention to get the Terran out of the game. I feel like even if ShoWTimE goes 4 gate Blink, he's gonna play it rather cautiously. He's not gonna win the game, and then he's gonna be forced to expand. Thanks for streaming, and I hope you're feeling better, Roddy. Still a little bit sick. I always sound a lot worse in the beginning of the day though than I do after a couple of hours, but it's not bad. I am ready for a very long stream today that is gonna get me 1 step closer to my marble Twitch statue. One of the 20,000 steps I'm gonna have to take. But I have a dream. And that is that I won't just get that purple statue, but I'm gonna get the marble statue as well. Even though they robbed me of 3 years of streaming, we're gonna get that statue. You got the pro? I mean, I don't have it yet, Sal, but I do easily qualify for it. I don't know what number I'm at, but I know I'm past 10 million. But I've sent some emails because I'm very hyped over these statues. And they told me they only start counting at the 1st of January 2015. And that's kind of sad for me, because I started streaming around the 20th of May 2012, and my first 2.5 years were actually pretty big. I've always been a very consistent streamer. Any day that I was not traveling, I was streaming. And if I think back of all my initial streams, always 3K, 4K viewers. So it's a real shame that I'm missing out on the first 2.5 years, but it's all good. That's just gonna make it even better when I finally get it. I'm gonna become a Twitch guild just for a statue. Very weird comment, mate. What is that? A little bit of women hate snuck in there? You angry, mate? Because the ladies got some viewers on Twitch? Should be men only? Yeah. A little odd. Thank you, Campo, for the 100 biddies. You'd watch Hardtop running? There is actually a chance that one day I'll get a tiny hot tub in my backyard. And I'll play some F1 in my top. Or play some poker. Like RTS, not possible. I'm never gonna play an RTS from a hot tub. I mean, you can do it for views and memes and clicks, but I feel like that sounds horrible. But poker or F1 is totally doable. Couple of stalkers for ShoWTimE getting picked off in the center. Don't love that, because there's obviously a lot of bio for ByuN to work with here. ByuN catches, I want to say another one, but he just tags it. Blink was ready. All out macro between these two, which I think is what a lot of us expected. First Colossus is about to come out. With a Colossus, our life is a lot easier. But this is where I still think playing PvT is scary. Because if ByuN can sneak in like a single drop or a double drop in the natural, it is going to be very hard. F1? Yeah, I think F1 is very doable, Anna. I just sit on like the edge of my hot tub with my joystick and I put the monitor on the side. I can absolutely play F1 from a hot tub. No, I don't have a racing setup. I just play with a PS5 controller. No, I don't think an entire sim setup would not work, guys. But playing with a PS5 controller like I always do, that would totally work and I would love it. Thank you, Arjun, for the 24 months. 3 cannons and a shield battery. ShoWTimE obviously knows that in this phase in the game, those drops are deadly because you don't really have all the Colossus yet. You don't have all the map vision. You don't have extended thermal lens. So this is where a little bit of static D could really come in handy. Yeah, D-Mauer has played great Starcraft lately, but obviously playing the first game on US West. You guys often ask about servers, so I'm just going to repeat myself one more time. Game 1 between Europe and Koreans, always on US West, which means better ping for Koreans. Game 2 will be on Central, that means better ping for the Europeans. So the first game is the most scary one. If ShoWTimE somehow wins this game, which is obviously totally possible because it's relatively even up to this point, we are... I don't want to celebrate too early, but I feel like we're almost there. But ByuN gets in range and snipes a Colossus. Obviously not for free. He's going to bleed out a couple of bio units, but still a 6 snipe there. Killing a Colossus without Vikings is always impressive. Finally we get Shirtless Roddy. You guys got Shirtless Roddy at Homesteader Cup 20. And never again. Maybe one day, but not anytime soon. Unless we get the hot tub. But at that point I'm doing so well. If I have a hot tub, I don't care. I'll show my belly to the internet. Who cares about having a belly if you're sitting in a hot tub in your backyard? Seems pretty good to me. Dark Shrine coming online for ShoWTimE as we are building a second robo. He's working with double forge. Losing that one Colossus sucked a little, but besides that, I feel like ShoWTimE has weathered the storm of what is normally a pretty scary 2-3 minutes of TVP relatively well. I don't think ShoWTimE needs to be upset. Belly is just a flex if you're rich. I don't know if eating a whole bunch of Kinder Buenos means that I'm crushing in life, but... Will I be watching the Olympic saga, Roddy? Probably not every match, but if there is something that stands out and looks fun, I'll tune in. But not something I'm very pumped for. Yo, Omar kid, long time no see, amigo. Are you hanging out with Todd in Vegas? World Series is going on. Our man Johan Merlo is in Vegas again. This is gonna be a fun moment, guys. War Prism sneaks into the main base. ByuN shakes his head before he even responds. He's like, fucking War Prisms. As the Vikings obviously barely miss it on the right side. ByuN probably wondering, how did I miss that? Well, it was just a little bit too far to the right. Overall, pretty good defense here by ByuN though. Sure, loses 7 SCVs. That DT is still alive in the main. That is actually incredibly annoying. There's nothing more annoying than thinking you took care of the Prism, you took care of the Zealots and the DTs. And then right when you want to focus on your army on the other side of the map, you hear, your base is under attack. And you're like, ah! One Nova goes forward, but ByuN picks it off as he goes full cuckoo. Well done. Colossus does melt against the Vikings, but I think the second Colossus may live, and every single Viking is so close to getting picked off. No, second Colossus dies too, but that Nova has potential. ByuN knows it, so he needs to pick up all his units. Hectic fight. The DT is now working on an add-on. Could have been worse, I guess, for ByuN. I did not hate that fight for ShoWTimE, guys. He killed a lot of expensive units. Sure, he lost his Colossus, but I feel like we survived another scary phase, and 3-3 Protoss is nothing to scoff at. If the Dutch win gold as worthy as winning the Euros or World Cup? No, absolutely not. If passion levels are 100% for the World Cup and like 95% for the Euros, I think they are like at 10% for the Olympics, man. Olympics in football is not comparable. I would even say winning Nations League is a lot more impactful than winning gold at the Olympics. And I know Nations League is new, but I would celebrate that more. Olympics is kind of like a fun tournament, I feel like. 5 medevacs carrying a lot of bio on the bottom side. There are no cannons protecting this 6 o'clock base. Leaving 2 Marauders and 2 Marines behind. That is obviously enough to still pick up a couple of workers quickly. The drop in the main is going to be greeted by a few Zealots, but the Zealots will eventually not be able to win this fight. ShoWTimE says it's doing alright though, so we're going to warp in 4 more. Then, oh my goodness, but a Nova blew up and it seems like a lot of bio. No real reaction coming out of ByuN though. I guess he's very happy with his drop. ShoWTimE needs to maybe stop rallying Zealots into the meat grinder. That pylon is not his friend. In the end, we do force ByuN to pick up these units, and ShoWTimE already had a read on that move as he was waiting, but ByuN pounces on the army. There are so many things happening right now on this game in Alcyone. There's a War Prism in the main. We were battling in the main of ShoWTimE. We are battling at a 6 o'clock base. A Liberator sieges up in range of Battery Overcharge. As one more Colossus comes in from the left side, both players taking heavy losses. But I think it's the Battery Overcharge that really turned things around, and there are Zealots in the main base. Is this the fight that D. Mauer was looking for? Starting to look like it. I mean, 17 workers against 16 workers is relatively even. But a clutch hold there at the gold. We saved our Colossus as well. And it does feel there is some momentum here in our massive Gateway army. If ByuN makes it through the next 2 minutes without losing a base and workers, he's going to be happy. Because then a bunch of Liberators show up with +2. And he's got Gulls and Advanced Ballistics. So that, or at least he has a Fusion Core now. And he should start working on Advanced Ballistics. But we are... Wait. Did I miss Advanced Ballistics finishing up, guys? There's no way that he ever prefers the medevac upgrade over Advanced Ballistics, right? I thought the Fusion Core just finished. Am I crazy? He gets the medevac upgrade first. I mean, his medevacs are low on energy. But that still does not seem like a choice that I think you can ever justify. I know there is a... Oh, that is it. No, never mind. He's got Advanced Ballistics. He already has it. Yeah. Already has it. There is a way to see it. Something with the amount of arrows and circles. I don't know what you guys were trying to teach me a while ago. But the way that I know that it's done is that the shot is a lot thicker. And instead of like kind of red-orange, it becomes white. So, it is done for ByuN. And he's just getting the medevac upgrade afterwards. 6 arrows instead of 4. I don't even know what that means, man. Do you guys see arrows where I don't see arrows? What I do see is big balls connecting with Marines and Marauders. That one falls short, but the first one was good. Thank you, Atil. It's really appreciated, mate. That's very kind of you. You're tuning in on the right moment as we are watching an excellent game between ByuN and ShoWTimE. As ShoWTimE gets on top of this planetary, this is massive. Kills the PF, kills 12 SCVs, and D. Mauer is still maxed out. Earlier, Sabbath has said, I don't really like this game for the Protoss. How do we like it now, Seb? Because I kind of feel like we like it. I think ShoWTimE is doing a fantastic job. He's not there yet. He could still take a bad fight. He could still lose. But I think he's doing a really good fight. And ByuN looks, I don't want to say sloppy, but I feel like we have seen ByuN react later to certain things than ShoWTimE more often in this game. That's kind of weird because ByuN has historically been the quicker player. Great snipe on that pylon, by the way, guys. So the 2 batteries in the battery overcharge was absolutely nothing. But in the end, ShoWTimE is rich enough to just keep on reinforcing. ByuN does move out once more with a terrifying army. ShoWTimE fires balls from a distance. They fall short. Man, I am excited to see this ShoWTimE at the Esports World Cup. Unfortunately, he does not start in the bracket, which I think is a little bit odd. I feel like if you qualify, you qualify, but this is an incredibly exciting ShoWTimE, man. He's so good at the moment. And I want to see more of D. Mauer. Oh, no! I should just shut the fuck up, shouldn't I? I don't want to see him at the Esports World Cup at all. Man looks washed. Unbelievable. You give the man a compliment and he blows up his own army. So we do get on top of a couple of these Liberators. Needs to be careful with his Colossus there, but he is careful. The Zealots and Stalkers are going to blink forward. Great fight here by D-Mauer, guys. That is exactly where he needed to be. ByuN is still active, though, with Marines and Marauders at the bottom side of the map. Kills 10 tropes. Could potentially get on top of that base at 6 o'clock or the center base. What a great game between these two. I feel like we've been battling for like 12 minutes straight. Awesome. And action all over the place. We're not just looking at two big armies. Yes, no. No, there are drops, there are run-bys, there are war prisms. There are flanks and ambushes in the center. Two high-level players trying to outmaneuver each other over and over again. As ByuN feels there is an opening in the bottom side, snipes the Disruptor, avoids the other ball. Great plays here by ByuN. Gotta give it to him. ShoWTimE, needs to be careful, but he does snipe a full medevac. That is awesome. The Lenza Nova, that is awesome too. It's not as rich. Do we have a Templar Archives at all, guys? Because I actually feel even if we don't want to play Storm, to have like a few feedbacks on those very juicy damaged medevacs that now always have energy because of that upgrade. I actually think just having a couple of High Templars for feedback would be fantastic. It doesn't deal as much damage as it once upon a time did. I know, Wingen. I actually... They have multiple observers, by the way. WTL has multiple observers. I don't know who the observer is today, but he's doing indeed a fantastic job. Because this is not an easy game to observe. The guys are all over the shop. Yeah, this is not the guy who shows up hangover. One of the dudes... The passion isn't there anymore. But this guy, he's got the passion of Funka or Mapu or Indie. Or Pi or Eon Blue. Do I know who's in charge of organizing brackets, rules, etc. of the EWC? The same guys that are in charge of that for every other ESL event. Yeah. Sinistro. Our tall friend. Ooh, his units are derping a little bit. Dark is blinking, getting on top of Liberators. ByuN's supply is plummeting a little. ByuN is tilting his head. That is always a bad sign, as this is an Orbiter on the right and that Orbiter is exposed. ByuN never mined out those minerals. Maybe he thought that would make his life easier, but it really does not. If anything, it made his life a lot harder right now, and that's why all of his units were stuck to there, and that's why they ran back. Maybe he forgot that he never mined that out. A lot of Marines and Marauders were just hugging the Protoss army over here, where the Protoss army currently is standing, because they could not walk through those mineral patches. Still 121 supply on the side of ByuN. And I'll be damned if I ever count out a Terran with 121 army supply. But the 29 SCVs though, obviously that's not pretty. But if he takes out this base and he takes out the top left, then ShoWTimE is honestly just as broke as ByuN. I don't think ShoWTimE can afford to lose that base, but I also don't know if he could save it. Because if you recall, you have the chance that you lose half of your army. So ShoWTimE actually loses two incredibly important bases. This game ain't done yet. And now he's gonna try. Oh, ByuN should turn around. Mass repair, mass circles, and stim your army back. I actually think you take a great fight there if you're ByuN. Oh. ShoWTimE does get the PF, and he knows that the flank is potentially coming. That's why he fired a Nova into no man's land. That was not a Magnet Nova. That was a Nova because he anticipated the flank. I actually think ShoWTimE is in trouble here, guys. ByuN's army is incredibly good. Lands an EMP. Snipes every single Disruptor. It's beyond believable, but there is a flanking Disruptor coming out of D-Mauer. But I'm afraid it's just a little bit too late. What a stunning game of Starcraft coming out of these two fine men. Holy smokes. I think ByuN is turning it around, guys. 97 army supply against 24. And that is why you don't count out a man like ByuN. And I said, I'll be damned if I count him out. It's the two snipes. It's the double snipe of the Nexus on the left side. And then eventually force ShoWTimE in a very awkward spot. Here are the Marines and Marauders. GG gets called. I mean, I'm rooting for D-Mauer. I am rooting for BASILISK. But what a performance by ByuN. I will always be rooting for a great game of Starcraft above anything else. That was incredibly well played by ByuN. Super impressive. It was on US West. Keep that in mind, guys. It was on US West. ShoWTimE can now pick any map he wants, and it will be played on US Central. Man, I need a break after that game. But if the players are not taking a break, I'm not taking a break either. Golden Aura is his map of choice. I don't know how many active Protoss players I currently have in the chat. But if you guys lose a game against Terran and you can pick any map you want of the current 9 maps, or 8 maps obviously besides the first one, what do you pick as a Protoss? Wingant says he also picks Golden Aura. Any other Protoss nerds want to give me their thoughts quickly? I don't know what I like to pick against Terran. Seb says Golden Aura. Kuwa says Golden Aura. What do I like? Art. I mean, Art, you're all very good. You like Side Delta? Foxen would really enjoy reading your message. He'd be like, I knew I was right. I am personally not a fan of Side Delta against Terran. I kind of hate it, but obviously to each their own. Don't both teams have a veto, Roddy? No. I think that's only in playoffs. I think in the regular season there are no vetoes, mate. Only in playoffs you get a veto. In regular season there is no such thing as a veto. I think I picked Dynasty. I think I'm a Dynasty enjoyer against Terran. You're picking Northern Tyrol, very mountains, many tunnels, drops won't work. Does Vitality play today? No, this is the last match of WTL. I will, however, guys, stay live after WTL. It is also the final day of the Battle Aces beta. I'm definitely going to be playing some games. I should still have some keys, so if you guys stick around and you like what you're seeing, you should be able to still activate it. And even if the beta goes offline tomorrow, it is still worth it to activate it, because then the next time the beta comes back, you can start playing it immediately. Which is obviously awesome, if you like the game, that is. I think I will do a mix between 1v1 and 2v2. If you guys have any questions about 1v1, I will try my best today to try hard a little bit less and just answer questions, explain the game. So if you guys want to learn about Battle Aces, you can stick around. And we're going to do that until 9 p.m. And then obviously I'm going to turn this stream into a viewing party for the grand finals of the Euro. England versus Spain. I cannot show you guys the football game, but I can show you guys the clock and talk about the game. I will also probably be doing a couple of 2v2 games of Battle Aces, where I will be playing with Vicky against Liquid Clum and Coco. So I think that's going to be very fun. I don't know if we can win that, because Coco is an animal, and that Liquid Clum guy is pretty good too. But Vicky and I are going to do our best. I think that will start probably around 7:30. What are the thoughts on Battle Aces so far? I have the same thoughts as I had since the very first time I played the game in Los Angeles a couple months ago. I love it. I really am bullish on it. And I completely understand that it's not for everybody and that some people miss building workers or buildings, etc. I am not going to try to convince everybody that it's the next Starcraft or that it's better than Starcraft, because Starcraft is Starcraft. I feel like nothing is ever better than Starcraft for me. But I love Battle Aces. I think it's a very fun, cool, unique game with a lot of potential. But back to StarCraft 2, guys. Golden Aura is the map of choice for D. Mauer. Played a stunning game on El Sayani. Unfortunately, was not quite able to close it out. He was so close. I thought he had it. But maybe by the army being out of position and losing our 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock base, we opened the doors for that great comeback by ByuN. Bottom right side, a ShoWTimE for BASILISK plus ShoWTimE. Top left side, it is BeyondBelievable for the Shopify Rebellion. Whatever happened to Stormgate? Stormgate is currently still being developed, mate, but early access will start in 16 days, is what they told me earlier. So in 16 days, if you bought early access, you can actually start playing and streaming and Stormgate, run tournaments, make videos if you want to do that, or just play ladder. And the real game is released, I think, in like 35 days, something like that, give or take. So, exciting times in the world of RTS. Plenty to look forward to. I am currently really looking forward to the Esports World Cup, obviously, in Saudi Arabia. But after that, I don't know. After that, I hope I can play some Battle Aces again. And of course, I'm going to give Stormgate a shot as well. Play it with you guys. And we'll continue playing StarCraft. Because even though the barcode Protoses are trying to kill my passion, I will not let it happen. I am going to outlast each and every single fucking barcode Protoss on Battle.net. Until Battle.net is fun again. I hate him, Sep. I hate them all. You're probably guilty, and so is Art. I see you guys being quiet. Fuckers. Somebody had a question, and I want to see if I can answer it, but I lost the question. ShoWTimE shows up as participant, but he's not in Group A or B. Can somebody explain? So ShoWTimE and Shin are the two last players that have qualified for the Esports World Cup, but they do not get seeded in the initial 2-8 brackets. So we have 2 brackets with 8 players, 16 in total. But once you get eliminated from those brackets, you get into different brackets. And that's where ShoWTimE and Shin start playing. I was a little bit confused about that as well, mate. But I mean, it's still great for them to go. Because, you know, they still get $15,000 even if they lose every single game in Saudi Arabia. But I do agree with you that it's a little bit odd. Did Serral play already? Yes, mate. Serral just played. He played against Harstem. That was the first set of games of this clan war. So if you want to go to my previous video, my most recent video, and you just click 30 minutes back, you can watch Serral playing against Harstem. Actually, very fun games in my opinion. Even if... I don't want to spoil it for you, if you want to enjoy it. If you just want to go back and watch those games, thank you for the sub, by the way, mate. And I am not going to spoil them for you, but I think they are worth watching. They start in the losers bracket, yeah, Orca King. I am the best caster. Well, thank you. Well, look at that guy. First time chatter, gives me his prime immediately, says I'm the best caster. The world needs more of you, man. Do you have any friends? Family members? Come on, mate. We need more people like you. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. He's a bot. Humans were never my friends, Cell. I can't wait for AI to completely take over. If that is how the robots will interact with me, I don't need any human interactions at all. I'll be perfectly fine with artificial intelligence being incredibly kind to me and buttering my biscuit. I started watching LC2 from Ennis. Alright, let's talk about the 3-Rex, guys. We have a 3-Rex, and it's not the triple CC 3-Rex that Hiromarine showed us on Post Youth. This is a 2-base 3-Rex. And you guys know how I say I've never really seen this build lose. So I am always a tiny bit scared when it happens. But ShoWTimE is no Roddy. He knows how to drop a Guardian Shield and Force Fields, hopefully. He sees his army incoming. He drops 2 Force Fields, battery overcharge. But the 3rd base is in trouble, though. Good job cancelling that pylon. We're gonna lose that pylon. We've got an Immortal now. Can we keep the Nexus alive? I think we can. I honestly think we can with another Guardian Shield. I don't know. Did we just blink forward? Oh, careful. Here comes another stim. We can lose the Immortal for nothing. We cannot lose it. ShoWTimE is going to try to run back to the battery. Does run back to the battery, but he loses the Immortal. Why did we blink forward? I feel like we paid a very hefty price for being a tiny bit greedy there. It's okay though. As long as the Nexus lives, I want to say we live, but ByuN stims again. The 3rd stim of the original 3-Rex. At this point, Coco's overcharge should be ready though, right? Can we get a Coco overcharge? Do we have any energy? We're going to warp in a few more Stalkers, and Blink Stalkers are very good in tiny numbers. Alright, all these Marines are about to get one-shot at that final attack. Even if ByuN gets the sentries, and he gets another Stalker, I don't know if that was really worth it for ByuN. Because he did lose every single buy unit he has produced. Well, tough. ShoWTimE is up 10 workers, but ByuN is building a 3rd on location. We like this, Sap? Do we like this? I think I like it. But I also feel like I'm biased. So I don't know if I'm... I mean, we did lose a lot of sentries. We lost a couple Stalkers. Stalkers are expensive. But I think I like it for ShoWTimE. It's still close though. It's competitive. But that 3rd base is not done yet for ByuN. It's not an orbital yet. We don't have triple mule. Obviously, if you open up 3 racks, your medevacs are a bit late. If medevacs are late, Vikings are even later. I think the Mauer is okay, but obviously we are one bad force field away from straight up dying. Going up to 4 bases now is honestly kind of wild, but I guess he's just rich and he has the money for it. How did we see that? Does ShoWTimE just have spidey senses, or does he have an observer there? He now leaves 1 probe there for a tiny bit of vision. Spidey senses were insane there by ShoWTimE. Literally the moment ByuN picked up and he walked to them. He had another probe? Ah, okay. So he sent out a second probe. Cool. Great little scout. Probe life matters, but if your probe can give you a heads up that a double drop is heading towards your main, it's completely okay to sacrifice a little worker. All of the extra gateways are now online for ShoWTimE, so losing this 1 gate in the front, guys, is really not that bad. We don't want to lose a Colossus here. That's all I know. We absolutely don't want to lose a Colossus. The extended thermal lens feels a tiny bit late to me. Great scan there by ByuN. Denying map vision is such a big deal. ByuN did not expect ShoWTimE to move out with his army. ShoWTimE makes a somewhat passive forward blink. Ah, cute little hot pickup there on a very low HP mine by ByuN. I love that. A 1 HP mine, guys. Gets saved there by the boost. Well done, good pickup, and just burrows it defensively. How's Wimbledon going, by the way? No, do I not have a single tennis fan in my chat? I saw that Alcaraz won the first set, but how's it going after that? Is my boy Carlos dominating? Or is it the Joker? 2-0. That does indeed spell doom for Novak. He's getting ass blasted. Alcaraz is so cool. I actually love him. Could be a glorious day for Spain. Spain historically has just found so much success. They also had this era with Nadal winning everything, and Alonso was great in F1, and the national team of Spain was so freaking good. Barcelona and Madrid were winning the Champions League every year. Spain is incredibly successful when it comes to at least the sports that I follow. They now have a UFC champ as well. Oh, careful ShoWTimE as he runs a couple of stalkers forward. They've got Lucifron and Vortex. When I think of MotoGP domination, I actually think more of Valentino Rossi, who's obviously Italian. But I know after Rossi, there was the Red Bull driver, right? And he is Spanish, I guess. And he did incredibly well for a while. Is it Marc Marquez? Is that his name? Or am I coping? Yes? I know a little bit about him, but I feel that Valentino Rossi is a bigger name outside of... Like for the people who follow MotoGP all the time, I'm not one of them. I do think it's incredibly awesome and incredibly impressive. I'm not a diehard MotoGP fan. I've just never really got into it. I don't know when the races are. I don't know where to watch. It always changes. I know about Marc Marquez, but I think Valentino Rossi is a bigger name to plebs like me. We even have a Dutch MotoGP thing. The TT from Aussie. I would have always loved to go once, but I've just never really had the chance either. Great snipe there by ByuN with his Vikings in the bottom left side, so that first War Prism gets denied. This has honestly been a great clan war between two excellent esports orgs, obviously BASILISK and Shopify. And it's coming down to the wire. We have one match that has already been played, Reynor Scarlett, but I don't know the score. One Nova flies forward. ShoWTimE blows up a decent amount of his own zealots. Needs to be careful. We can't be doing that too many times. That Nova does clip a lot of the bio units of ByuN. But ByuN's Vikings really put a number on the Colossus of ShoWTimE. And those Colossi have already melted. ByuN now lands the Vikings as he feels that extra bit of DPS. Unfortunately, the stream is stuttering a little bit, guys. Oh, ShoWTimE is disrupted. Changes direction, but it does not go off. That was so freaking close. I apologize about the drop in FPS. nothing I can do about it. This is the best way we can watch it. That Nova of ShoWTimE that went towards the left here and then it changed towards the top right. It was like 0.1 second away from basically blowing up the entire army of ByuN. ShoWTimE is Zealous putting up a pretty good fight here, but I never really believe in Zealous only. We do have a ShoWTimE run by now in the triangle base of ByuN. But ByuN has an answer for that too. ByuN is playing excellent, man. ByuN really is playing excellent here. Once this game is over, I'm gonna go back into the VOD and I'm gonna show you guys the Nova that I was freaking out of. I know it's sometimes hard to catch all the details when the quality is not as sharp as when I'm in the game. I obviously missed stuff as well. And if anybody missed it, that was mega close. I would have actually said I was a game-ending Nova. Good job here by ByuN as he gets on top of 2 disruptors immediately. He kind of dodges the other 2 shots, so he gets the 3rd one as well. Great fight here by ByuN. Whose micro is just unreal, man. ByuN is microing like it's 2016 all over again, and he's building a couple of Reapers against Dark. Like he's Liquid Clump. I mean, ByuN has always had great micro, of course, historically. But I've also seen him struggle against late game Proto spellcasters or Zerg spellcasters. ByuN looks good as ever, young as ever, fast as ever, but ShoWTimE is also playing some of the best Starcraft of his career, and that's why we are blessed here with an absolutely awesome best of 2. And ShoWTimE picks up a few of those Liberators. Advanced Ballistics is about to finish up. We are 12 seconds away from ByuN getting his hands on that. He's got 3-3 upgrades too. ShoWTimE still trying to find openings with Zealots. But there really are no openings because ByuN is just everywhere. Dodges that Nova too. ShoWTimE is a little bit low right now when it comes to the robo units. And as much as I love Zealots, I hear a Liberator harassing this base at the bottom. Double Liberator harass even. They don't quite have +2 yet. But once that blue upgrade in the top side of your screen finishes up, it's +2 ship weapons. That's when ByuN's army becomes even more terrifying and deadly. That means that Liberators will 2-shot Stalkers, and if the Ghost land an EMP on the Stalkers, Liberators are 1-shot Stalkers. That may not sound like that big of a deal, but it's an incredibly big deal. This matchup is so stupid. You know what's stupid, mate? Whining about balance in the year 2024. That is stupid. Stalkers blink forward as they gun down one of these medevacts. It wasn't the empty one though. ByuN is now splitting up his army, going for the bottom left. ByuN leading the charge there with his lips. Needs to be careful. There's a lot of disruptors this time around. Don't think ByuN can quite easily walk into that many. We do still have that triple drop from earlier. That's going to show up in the main. ShoWTimE turns around. He's going to attack the base at 9 o'clock. I don't like this. Oh no, we are kind of trapping our own army now near a planetary. I mean, I'm dramatic because I don't like it. He does kill the PF in the end. Maybe it's a great play. Disruptors are exposed, bio units come in, but I think ShoWTimE is okay. ShoWTimE decides to recall some of these disruptors. I like that play. This actually worked out so well for ShoWTimE. I was so worried that ByuN was just going to stim forward, get on top of that ShoWTimE army immediately, and that planetary would make our life absolute hell. Instead, ShoWTimE gets a massive victory. So, I did not like it, and that's because I loved it. Totally saw that coming, guys. It was absolutely fantastic for ShoWTimE. 2 medevacs still carrying units, by the way. If the Stalkers kill the medevacs, that would be big. 1 medevac gets picked up. Is it D-Mauer then who wins an absolutely epic second game? I mean, we cannot celebrate early. We saw that on Alcyone. It felt like he was winning Alcyone at one point. And then ByuN turned it around. I mean, earlier today we had some great games between Stats and Firefly. And we said those two are a perfect match for each other. How about ByuN against ShoWTimE then? Holy smokes. You know what I'm wondering about as well, right? The guy who just said this matchup is so stupid. I don't even know, like, what angle we are whining from. Because ByuN had an absolutely epic first game with ShoWTimE that was so close it could have gone either way. And we are watching a nail-biting second game as well. And the score is 1-0 for ByuN, but it kind of looks that ShoWTimE is now winning the second game. It's like, so from what angle is this matchup stupid exactly? I love PvT, man. I think PvT is fantastic, and I think there is always potential for the Terran to win. There is always potential for the Protoss to win. In the previous patch, I did think that late game was very favored for Terran. People were often whining about Widow Mines and stuff, and I really did not think that Terran was a whole lot better than Protoss in the first 12 minutes. I did think that Terran was better after 25 minutes. But ever since Liberators got nerfed a little bit, I don't even know if that's really the case anymore. I guess, Millard, though. ShoWTimE takes out another important base, is bleeding out a couple of workers. Can we send a Nova? I feel like we killed our own Zealots again there. But ShoWTimE is rich, and these kind of trades he's okay with. If he can get some of those medevacs, if he can get 14 SCVs in a base, it's all fine to donate some Zealots. You say it's over? I mean, ByuN's economy is really in shambles. But ByuN still has 93 army supply. And as long as ByuN has 93 army supply, I am not saying it's over. I'm very happy I did not celebrate on El Sayani, because that was a great comeback by ByuN. He could make another great comeback here, but this one is perhaps even less likely. ShoWTimE is in all the right places, and he's working with all the right units. Just don't blow up your own army, ShoWTimE, as we blink towards the right with the Starks from the bottom. Nova flies forward. One of them has to connect right. Oh, yes, they absolutely do. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire as ShoWTimE blows up half the bio army of ByuN. And we have killed 9 SCVs. We're going to kill some medevacs. We're going to kill a Liberator. We're going to kill an Orbital. We are killing, fucking everything. And I think it's ShoWTimE who's going to tie things up with ByuN. What an awesome best of 2. Holy smokes. 6 series. 2 players, guys, that go to the Esports World Cup. And holy smokes, do they both look good. Awesome. Legitimately awesome stuff. The game is so back. The game is so back. That means we take a 3-1 lead. I'm going to take a very tiny break because there was a lot of talking. And my voice hurts a little bit because I sound rough. So guys, tiny break, 2-3 minutes, and then I'm back for the games between Reynor and Scarlett that, don't forget, have already been played. I don't know the score. No one should know the score unless you're a member of BASILISK and Shopify and you've reached out to the players, but I really don't know the score. I promise that on every Akita I've ever had. ShoWTimE ByuN was a 1-1 draw. Awesome stuff though, really really good Starcraft by both. Reynor versus Scarlett, best of 2 is a replay, but don't know. You guys know what I mean. A single map win is good enough for us, guys, to get 3 points here, and that would be awesome. The replay casts often start earlier, so I'm gonna do 5 minutes only. 1-1 draw. All that we need is Reynor to do what he has done so often for us in the past. Apparently they don't like an X. Okay, fine. Be right back. They started. And ZVZ between Reynor and Scarlett. You don't want to miss anything. I am back. Post Youth is the opening map between Scarlett and Reynor. Once more, these games have been played. That's why I don't see cameras here. So these games are not live, but I don't know the outcome. Reynor just needs to win 1 map, guys. If he wins 1 map, we get the dub. We get 3 more points. Reynor is, of course, our blue Zerg, the Italian stallion in the bottom left side. Scarlett is representing the Shopify Rebellion in the top right as the right Zerg. And Scarlett has gone for a very, very quick Evo. Reynor's Overlord is pretty deep. Can Reynor spot it? No, he does not go too deep. Reynor's still in Korea? No, when Reynor played these games, Reynor was in Italy, but Scarlett is currently in China. Reynor at the moment is in Croatia. But when Reynor played these games, he played them from Italy. Scarlett, however, is staying in China for a year. So there is ping involved. That means that every single game gets played on US West. Against Korea, they switch 1 game on West, 1 game on Central. And if it's Europe against China, they play every game on West. Big applause to Novak, by the way. He just came back court from the knee surgery 2 months ago, made it to the finals. Is it over? It's not over though, right? Enoch? Aren't they still in the third set, or is it... Are we done? Hello, Sean. So, Scarlett is probably going to build a lot of Zerglings here, guys, with +1 melee. That means that Reynor is going to have a very, very, very difficult time saving his hatchery in the center of the map. Especially because he hasn't quite seen it yet. I'm a little bit scared here. I am scared for more than one reason. You just found out a check. Yes. Man, women's tennis is awesome. I really like watching women's tennis because the rallies are great, the shots are great, and it's a lot less about serving. But women's tennis feels so random. Every single Grand Slam, there is someone in the final that is like seed 37 or 58. It's like, how? What? What happened to the days of Serena Williams winning every single tournament? Like, the Polish lady is great, Zviatek. But even she has relatively early exits quite often. Yeah, it makes it very hype. Like, I feel women's tennis is so unpredictable. There's obviously a couple ladies that have been doing great for a while. I kind of thought that Rybakina was going to win when she was in the semifinals, but women's tennis is so unpredictable. Yeah, but like, what's different about men's tennis then, ShoWTimE? And meanwhile, men's tennis has been dominated by like 3 guys for 20 years straight. Now finally we've got Sinner and Alcaraz, as the old dudes have retired, but such a big difference. Why is my stream terrible now? I'm sorry, guys. Should I try the Twitch stream quickly? Most of the time when issues happen, they keep on happening. So I'm just going to swap over to Twitch very, very quick. I apologize. I'm doing my best. Twitch seems slightly more stable. So here we are. So a lot of Zerglings coming out of Scarlett. The Scarlett obviously has +1 melee, but Reynor has survived what I thought would be a very scary moment. And now Reynor is already working with that gold. We've got drones mining from that gold, working on +1 carapace. We've got our first few roaches out. Seems that Scarlett, her initial investment in this very quick +1 melee didn't quite pay off. And there is a Baneling that's coming along. I think Scarlett is absolutely sending it here. Mass Ling Bane with +1 melee and then a bunch of Ravagers. I don't know what makes sense, ShoWTimE. Like, I don't feel passionate about one argument or the other. I just think, like, for instance, Starcraft as well. Sure, we have some different tournament champs, but right now coming into a tournament, everybody looks at Yona, and then sometimes you look at Clem or Maru. It feels like there's a very select few that can win the biggest tournaments. Reynor, of course, always deserves to be mentioned. And tennis is just... Women's tennis is all over the place. Definitely makes it very exciting. Scarlett is down 19 workers. Oh, one of the Banelings of Reynor actually softened up so many of the links there. I feel like Reynor is in a very good spot, but obviously this is still scary because Scarlett now has 1-1. It's Ling, Roach, Ravager, Bane. It's so many Banelings. It comes down to micro. Every second that goes by is a fantastic second for Reynor. As we've got 9 Roaches in production. Here are these Banelings. Reynor, his Banelings actually make it so difficult for Scarlett, her Banelings, to find great connections. And I'm starting to believe that this is it, guys. I think Reynor will get this super important map win for us. 2 Banelings sneak in. They blow up some, I don't know, shields. Roaches don't have shields. They blow up some HP, but they don't kill the Roaches. And Reynor takes a very hefty supply lead. Up 50 supply. I don't want to say he made it look easy, but Reynor looked damn solid here. And initially I was a bit scared. I thought this quick +1 melee was really going to make life hard, especially with that gold in the center, but we had a bit of lag, and then suddenly Reynor just looked like he was in a good spot. And a good read on it. It was not greedy. Delayed a lair tag. You guys can see lair tag only now started. So Reynor just had a very, very good feel for the game. And had an answer for all the aggression Scarlett threw at him. Few more corrosive balls. Okay, those don't find very good connections, but Scarlett needs more than a couple of corrosive balls connecting. Scarlett needs an absolutely amazing victory somewhere as he does kill an Overlord. And that's not an amazing victory. Reynor is enjoying that gold. It's 3 bases versus 2. It is an 18 worker advantage. I feel like this should have never been that comfortable for Reynor. It should have never been so dominant, or I don't want to use the word easy, but in the end, looking at the numbers, it has somehow turned into be a relatively convincing victory for Reynor. Now flanking with slow roaches is difficult. Even if you are Reynor, that is difficult. But I think Reynor is totally okay. Even drop a transfuse on one of the roaches in the main. Scarlett is running out of steam here. Down 40 something army supply, down 17 workers, down a base. Look at Reynor's production tab, 17 roaches, plus 1 missile attacks on the way now as well. It does indeed look like 3 points are in the bag. I never want to celebrate too early, but it seems like we will continue our winning streak this season, guys. BASILISK had an incredibly difficult start to the regular season. We were 0-2. Now I wasn't panicking, I wasn't worried, but after playing 2 full seasons of WTL, which makes 22 matches. In 22 matches, we only lost 1. This season, we started off by losing the first 2 matches immediately. But I said I'd rather win the playoffs once than have another strong regular season. I feel like we're starting to heat up pretty well. GG gets called. Scarlett realizes he's just too far behind. Reynor gets that ultra important first map win. And that means that we have won again. Great job, especially to myself, if I may say so. 6 in a row, guys. That means Shopify will drop to 6 wins and 2 losses in the regular season. BASILISK improves to 6 wins and 2 losses. But we will still get 1 final bonus game of Starcraft today. I don't want to say I carried, but I do think I played a very vital part in asking if Serral could play. Serral said yes. I mean, that's as much as I can do. I did what any captain would, guys. Reach out to Yona and see if he was down. Clutch. Absolute clutch DM. No one does it better. Final game.
Round 2. Fight!
We got the win, but will it be a 4-2 or will it be a 5-1? Bottom left side of Dynasty, it is Shopify Rebellion's Scarlett in the red. Top right side, it is BASILISK Reynor in the blue. We have been live for almost 4 hours, but as I shared with you guys a couple times, we have big plans today. After this clan war is done, I'm gonna take a tiny break and then I'm gonna swap over to Battle Aces. I'm gonna do some 1v1s first. If you guys have any questions about the game, I will gladly answer them. I should get a few more keys that I can get you guys as well, but I don't have them yet. But hopefully they will arrive. And after that we're gonna do some 2v2s potentially. Roddy and Vicky versus Clem and Coco. It's gonna be hard because Clem, if you guys think he's great in Starcraft, he is. He is just as great in Battle Aces. So that will be very, very difficult. And Coco, of course, an absolute animal in everything she does. But I'm going to do my best with Vicky. Will Serral be playing next week versus Fatality? I obviously never make any announcements about that. I do not give out any information to the opposition. There's only one way to find out, mate. And that is tune in to either Steadfast or Cranky Ducklings or Wardy or Roddy. Once the game starts. Or once the announcements are made on Liquipedia. But I don't make any announcements on who plays when. I love your stream, Roddy. You are the GOAT. Thank you, Ambassadors, for all the amazing SC2. It's very sweet of you, Master Darcy. Thank you. The Twitch pricing have gone up, I believe, in most countries. A regular tier 1 sub is now $1 or €1 more expensive. Or whatever equivalent you may use. So I do truly appreciate you guys sticking around. I know a bucky may not seem like much, but obviously if you're sub to like 5 or 10 people, then it does add up. So, thank you. How's the behind the scenes with the Battle Aces PR team? They've been very good to me. I do not get paid, I've said this many times, to promote Battle Aces. I do not get paid to give out beta keys or stream it. I did get paid a tiny bit for organizing all the show matches over the last few days. Not much, honestly. I could have earned the same by commentating poker or doing anything, but it was a pleasure. I liked doing it. It was something that excited me. So they've been very cool. And I've also been talking to David Kim a little bit, but that's not so much about PR. That's more about just the state of the game, what he likes, what he's worried about, my thoughts on units that I think are too strong, or what other streamers have been saying about it. Am I fully living or streaming, Roddy? Yeah, absolutely. But it's not just streaming for me, obviously. I also get hired to cast tournaments like Dallas, Atlanta, Home Story Cuppies, Esports World Cup, hopefully, fingers crossed. Even though I already know if I'm going or not, so fake fingers crossed, but so that is obviously a big deal for me. And then on top of that, I am a member of BASILISK, and I cast for them, I stream for them, and BASILISK is incredibly good to me. So I am very, very, very happy to be on BASILISK. I could not wish for a better team. I have never been supported by any team like I have been supported by BASILISK, so it is streaming, but it's not just streaming. But obviously streaming is still the largest part of my income. That goes without saying. Otherwise I'd be filthy rich. And I'm no Coloris. I have nothing to complain about, but I am no Coloris. Couple of roaches of Scarlett get in range of the minerals. There's a big bailing connection did take place. A lot of circlings going down. Scarlett has a pretty hefty supply lead, but Reynor was maybe just waiting to fire up a whole bunch of roaches. Obviously, this match, it matters. There's a tiny bit of money on the line, like 35 buckies. And map wins could eventually matter way down the line at the end of the regular season if there is a tie. But I am not as nervous over this game as I am for any game before we reach magical number 4. Once we reach magical number 4, then all the tension is away and we're just watching games for fun. Scarlett gets a nice little grab here on 4 roaches of Reynor. Reynor has a bunch of links coming in, but there is still that one bailing in the mix for Scarlett. It makes it a tiny bit more difficult. That bailing does finally get sniped. Close battle. Scarlett's done a very good job with that one Ravager, but Reynor's done an even better job in pulling the drones away over and over again. Run them ads. I will gladly run some ads once Starcraft is over, but obviously I'm not gonna run a bunch of ads right now at the very end of the clan war. That would piss people off, and you know what, rightfully so. If there is no reason to play ads, you shouldn't just play them. Sometimes they'll run by accident. I can't do anything about it because we're out of snooze breaks. But obviously I'm not going to do it on purpose. Thank you, Coles, for a win for the 13 months. I appreciate it, matey. Yes, Scarlett picks off an Overlord of Reynor. Reynor picks off the queen in return. Reynor says, you take out my Ovi, I'll take out your queen. But I don't know about all these roaches in the middle of nowhere. These are slow roaches. They will get surrounded once more. They do alright against the Lynx, to be fair. But Scarlett has a couple of extra units showing up. I thought it was going to be a disaster for Reynor, guys, but it kind of wasn't. +1 carapace is good. Careful with your Ravager there, Scarlett. At this point, guys, I am a neutral commentator. We got the dub, we got the 3 points. I'm okay with everything. Scarlett does end up losing that Ravager, but finds another surround. The Lynx, though, they do really struggle once the Roaches have +1 carapace, but this time around the numbers are good enough. It's a very awkward game between these two. Obviously, Reynor can't really give up on this location, because if he gives up on this area right here, then he can't really mine up the gold anymore, and then it's 3 bases against 2. It's the 50% man coming. Even if it is a 50% performance by Reynor today, I am more than happy. I told you guys many times that I do not know the score of these games, and I absolutely stand by it. But I did double check with Reynor to make sure that he played these games before he went to Croatia. And he said, no worries, champ, games were played. And I felt that he seemed happy. So I kind of thought maybe it's a 2-0, but I don't think it is a 2-0. But maybe Reynor celebrates 1-1s like they are 2-0s. because he did know that the great Iona Sutala was going to be playing for us today. And maybe he felt a 1-1 performance is as much as we can ever ask from him. As he really is in trouble here though. 21 workers against 21 workers, but Scarlett has been relentless. Very strong ZVZ here by Scarlett. This was far from easy, this was far from, oh, I have one attack and I'm gonna try to win with it. No, this was non-stop dancing, back and forth, units, run-bys, reinforcements, a battle over vision. I think Scarlett played this incredibly well, gotta give her kudos. GG is called indeed. Scarlett did manage to get a 1-1 versus Reynor. That's technically very well done by her. But unfortunately for her, it will not help the Rebellion. Strong games by Scarlett. Reynor was happy in the DMs. Apparently a 1-1, guys, is enough to be happy about. But hey, I guess if you have a Iona Sutala on your team, a 1-1 is always solid. Serral with a 2-0 by Harstem. An incredibly clutch force field at first for Harstem. But then in the end, Serral with that devastating Coco second wave of Linkbane got the job done on Crimson Court. And game 2 was very convincing. Great defense against the DTs. ShoWTimE and ByuN had an epic best of 2. 2 excellent games. If you guys just joined now, these were amazing games. ShoWTimE and ByuN both looking fantastic. In the end, it was a 1-1. And Reynor did a great job in game 1 on post youth. Scarlett did a great job in game 2. An interview? No, there is no interview. Because Serral, this was scary by the way for me guys, Serral would not have been available for the ace match today. Serral was available to play first, but after that he had to go. He's still fulfilling his mandatory military service. So if this would have gone to an ace match, it would have been ShoWTimE, Trigger or Roddy. And Trigger apparently does not have a 144 Hz monitor, and he did not want to play on a 60 Hz monitor, so it literally would have just been ShoWTimE for us, which is not bad with the way that he's playing at the moment. But yeah, still there's only one Iona. These are the overall standings at the moment. We started off, guys, dead last, 0-2. And look at us now. After 8 play days, we have 6 wins and 2 losses. As we're all tied with WBG. WBG is previously known as DKZ. Dragon Kaiser Gaming is now WBG. Vitality is still on top, but they did lose yesterday. They lost to Storm Gaming. And there is one man responsible for that. And I know you guys don't need me to tell you who that was. We did make that deal with the ace match, and honestly, without like Serral, and Reynor is obviously not here either. So yeah, to finish the interview question, can't do an interview, guys. I don't know if Trigger is here, but it would literally just be like Trigger, ShoWTimE, and me. Serral's not available for an interview. Reynor is still in Croatia, so I'd be talking to Trigger, who didn't play, and ShoWTimE, who had a 1-1 against ByuN. I don't think ShoWTimE wants to be bothered. So, well, we'll save the interviews for the playoffs, guys. Well, the interviews will absolutely get back once Iona has a little more time. Reynor is settled. He's no longer in Korea. He no longer has plans to misbehave with Bully. We'll make sure that the internet and the regular interviews come back. How long is Reynor in Croatia? He's coming home literally today. It was a very tiny trip. He was just celebrating his birthday. I think it's well planned. Like right now, you have 1 month to get ready for the Esports World Cup. So if you want to do something fun, I feel like you do it now. You do it in the previous days. And then you've got 1 month for non-stop practice. You don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to peak too early. So I think it's totally fine that Reynor went for a little trip. If anything, I encourage that. I feel like that's healthy. And that's going to make it a little bit more doable for him to get through all those practice games and all those long sessions. And I'm sure he's got ahead of himself in the upcoming 30 days. GG's, guys. GG. We'll settle this prediction. I am not going offline. I am staying online for a long time today. We're going to do some battle aces, 1v1. I will answer any questions you guys may have. Hopefully I have some keys too. Then we have the 2v2s with Coco, Clem, Vicky. That's going to be fun. And obviously at 9 p.m. I will be doing a viewing party for the grand finals of the Euros with you guys. I cannot actually talk over the match. I cannot show you guys the match. But what I can do is sit here, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, show a clock, and yeah, just see if we can enjoy the finals together. That is my plan for the rest of the day. This too was a draw. A lot of draws today, eh?